Cyberfrog 3 is live right now on Indiegogo. Link in the description below. Oh, holy cow, is this infuriating. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 30-year veteran of the comic book industry. The industry that's been hijacked and is now being used and subverted, trying to reach your kids where your kids naturally go. And that's the whole thing. You wonder why so much attention is being paid to Disney movies and video games and comic books. Well, that's because these people are interested in your kids. They know they can't change your minds, right? They're out to reprogram your children, and they figure among those battlegrounds that they need to fight are the comic book industry. That's why Comicsgate is here. This is from Bleeding Cool. Now, Ohio parents object to Heartstopper and Scholastic book fairs. So basically, the American Library Association, in conjunction with, I'm afraid, the Scholastic book fairs. The Scholastic book fairs are interesting because for the last 10 years, a lot of really strange comic books have been able to make a living. A lot of these creators have been able to make a living by selling to Scholastic book fairs. Because if you can get Scholastic to carry your comic book, you're selling right to kids who are basically, a sitting duck. They're sitting targets. These Scholastic book fairs, the buses come around, the kids bring home catalogs of books that they can order. Kids who ordinarily probably wouldn't order any books at all are getting to go to these Scholastic book fairs and get books. Their parents pay for them. So automatically there's money coming in. There's an audience of kids who, if they weren't on the Scholastic book fair bus, they'd be sitting in class. So they're quite happy to be on that bus. And of course, once it was realized that there was this audience here, it didn't take long for the perverts to come in and start putting things like this Heartstopper here. This is Bleeding Cool complaining about how there's a quote-unquote conservative book ban in place. There are a bunch of articles here on Bleeding Cool about it. You've got a parent here, a good parent from Wisconsin, who says, look, when it comes to Heartstopper, it's more than foul language. There's so much sexual innuendo, especially in this book, Heartstopper. You've got these kids that are having to think about things that they really shouldn't be thinking about at all. These are middle school kids between the ages of 11 and 14, and that is when they're being targeted, of course, by activists. Activists like who? Targeted by people like the president-elect of the American Library Association, Emily Drabinski, who describes herself as a Marxist lesbian. Here she is saying, "I just cannot believe that a Marxist lesbian who believes that collective power is possible to build and can be wielded for a better world is the president-elect of the American Library Association. I am so excited for what we will do together. Solidarity!" Wonderful. Drabinski's YouTube videos teach librarians how to subvert, meaning to inject hard-left politics and aberrant sexuality into their publicly funded work. One such lecture given on July 6, 2021 was entitled Teaching the Radical Catalog. These are the people who are placing books, who are ordering books, who are supporting radicals who are putting product books, literature in your publicly funded school libraries, and then again in these Scholastic book fairs now as well. In the lecture, Drabinski discussed her homosexual coming out experience at her first librarian job. At Sarah Lawrence, absolutely everyone was queer. There were so many ways to be gay. And it was my job to teach those students how to find themselves in our library catalog. These are your kids. It's her job to teach your kids how to be gay. There's so many ways. She wants to help your child to learn some of the many ways to be queer and gay. She described queering the library, queering the library as quote-unquote critical thinking. This individual here in charge of teaching your children between the ages of 11 and 14 about how to be gay, all that stuff. This is why these books are being ordered and promoted. And you've got a gentleman like this guy who was a parent David Wallace here. I guess, is this David? This is David Wallace, I should say. He says, cease all scheduled scholastic book fairs in the district until an independent team can determine that the books made available to students are age appropriate and in accordance with Little Miami values and policies. He wrote on the evening of Tuesday, August 22nd, I was in attendance when a member of our community stood up and addressed the board about a questionable book, Heartstopper, Volumes 1 and 2, currently being sold to Little Miami's middle school students via the Scholastic Book Fair. This resident brought his concerns to you, the board members, in the hope that this book would be removed from the shelf. You did not. Not only did you not seem to hear and take seriously this individual's complaint, but these books are still available to our students the following school day. I know this because I went and purchased them. To say I was shocked by the language and the content of these graphic novels would be a gross understatement. In the hands of an adult, fine. In the hands of students in grades 6 through 8, I can only describe these books as propaganda. No kidding. We just proved to you these are intentionally propaganda. They are serving a purpose, and they are serving an agenda. Of course they are. Of course they're serving an agenda. It's ridiculous to assume otherwise. Books like Genderqueer, books like This Book is Gay, Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, all of these books are appearing right now, and it does seem in libraries and in these scholastic book trucks, book fairs. It's no accident, it's no coincidence, and of course the response, the defensive response to parents pushing back against this is to claim, look, we're an organization, a national association that quote unquote stands up for books. They denigrate the parents as calling them, a rural and staunchly conservative group of parents and these small town counties. And, look, this has become a movement against the professional origination that has fought against book bans. And you know what, book bans, the idea is to kind of get people to turn against these parents and say that, look, you should be disgusted by them. There they go again, these staunchly conservative hicks from America's flyover county who don't have an education or sophistication or of the smarter elites, like this person here. Look, she's just trying to make sure that your children won't grow up to be just as backwards as you are. After all, don't you know that, look, remember World War II when book bans were the precursor to the rise of Nazism? This person's just trying to protect you and protect us and our civilization against Nazism. And there's no agenda here after all. And that's the lie that they tell, and this is the emotional feedback loop that they're hoping to create. As parents just say, please, like, we should have a say. Like, we don't want this agenda. We don't want this agenda to be part of our public schools. How can denying that this is an agenda is absolutely ridiculous. How could there be no agenda present with bringing drag queens into libraries to read to children? I mean, look, it's, I've heard some people like it. You may agree or disagree, but by the very nature of it, there's obviously a point of view present. There's a point of view. Namely that it's culturally acceptable for drag queens to perform in front of young children who are not mature enough to even understand all of the implications of dressing in drag. To me, it seems like all of this stuff, all of this graphic and sexual literature, and I'm somebody who supports comic books being made. If somebody wants to do a comic book about what it meant to them to grow up gay or anything like that, they should be welcome to do that. I'm somebody who supports the arts. What I am not somebody who supports is an agenda to alter and reprogram children at the taxpayer expense. Obviously, this person is kind of crossing a lot of lines and barriers. And I think that they know it. I think that they're excited about the prospect of getting to your children. All of these books, and I'm proud to see it happening. I like to see it happening. I like to see that the books are being scrutinized. Books like this do not belong in public school libraries. They shouldn't be in scholastic, book fairs. They just shouldn't be there. It's crazy. It's disgusting. It's insane. It does bother me very much that the comic book industry that I love is being used as a tool of propaganda by creeps like this to really hurt and confuse your children. F you, F Bleeding Cool for their ridiculous article. We've got children getting through elementary school who have trouble reading, who don't know history, who don't know basic math, but they're being taught perverse sexual practices like fisting and oral sex, and that seems to be what the agenda is here. That is the focus of these people. It is peculiar. It is strange. It is beyond a waste of our taxpayer money and time as parents. I'm proud of this guy. Stand up and oppose this at every turn. Let's put a stop to this. Thanks for listening to my screed here. I appreciate it. This article, like in Bleeding Cool, like, oh my goodness, these conservatives are at it again. They're at it again. They're stopping weirdos and perverts from getting to their children. Can you believe it? It's amazing. It's just like Nazi Germany. Thanks for watching. Please leave me a comment below. What do you think of this video? What do you think of these people taking control not only of the public school libraries? And by the way, that is a big reason why a lot of this material exists. There is a whole agenda going on in the comic book industry. These librarians who receive public funding to purchase comic books and curate their own libraries, they actually reach out to some of these comic book companies and say, if you'll make a comic book about this, if you'll do a comic book about that, or use these particular creators and employ them, then we will, you can count on us to purchase this many copies of that graphic novel. And that is happening. That is a fact. That is why a lot of these comic books are being created. One of the reasons, I'm telling you, these SJWs have their tentacles so deeply into society. It is terrifying and infuriating. All right, anyway, leave me a nice comment below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. I will be back soon with another video. Take care. Follow All Caps Comics on Twitter or X or whatever at CyberFrogHD. And be sure to check out all our links in the description below.